The Monkey is directed by Osgood Perkins and follows two twin brothers who are tormented by a creepy monkey. The film is based on the Stephen King short stories of the same name. The mind of Stephen King has given us some of the most iconic horror films like The Shining and It. My personal favorite of the Stephen King based films has to be Carrie. I just love Brian De Palma's direction in almost everything he does. Now, Osgood Perkins is the next one up to bring a King property to life, and he absolutely crushes it this time around. From its opening scene, the monkey perfectly sets up its absurdist humor, always being mixed in with very gory and creative kills. For me, what's really important in a horror movie is that the kills are very memorable, or at least creative. I think in horror movies, kind of the standards is just see characters die over and over again, and I want these moments to be memorable because these are essentially the big action set pieces. If this was an action movie, you would want the big high-flying stunt scene of Tom Cruise jumping. In the horror film, I'm really looking for characters I care about, that I can connect with, and creative kills, and the monkey always delivers in the creative kills department. And a lot of these kills are used to kind of play up a kind of funny sense of the film, and I really do appreciate that. Outside of the kills, the film is very funny, but really it uses this context of this ridiculous story and plays it up for comedy while still feeling very grounded in some sense, and you still feel these connection to these characters. And what I think really adds to a lot of these scenes that make it so memorable and stand out outside of their creativity is actually how the gore and kind of the makeup is executed. You know these kills are coming. Eventually, you get used to them being so ridiculous and wacky. But that scene where the bees are going in and out of the guy's face, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a scene where a guy gets killed by a beehive, just show you how ridiculous this film is. And the effects, and I don't know if CGI was used, how practical it was, whatever it might have been, but those effects really do stick with you, and it allows the monkey to not only have memorable kills, but memorable kills that you really see the artistry and the skill in creating. And again, I have to give the credit to Osgood Perkins. He really had a great vision to bring this monkey story to life, and you really see that in every single shot, how much care and detail he put into everything. The cinematography and the lighting specifically is really nice in this movie, and just a really good lesson in creating ambiance and really being well lit for the type of tone that we're going for. To talk about our lead, Theo James, I think he's wonderful in The Monkey. He plays both twin brothers when they become older. You spend kind of the first 20 to 30 minutes of the film hanging out with these younger brothers as they experience the monkey for the first time, and they start to realize how evil this monkey is. Eventually, they find a way to get rid of the monkey, and then we meet back with the brothers when they're much older. They've lost contact, they've separated, but what brings them back together is the monkey returning. And so Theo James has to play both of these characters. The primary one, which was my favorite, is this deadbeat dad named Hal, who has stayed away from his son due to fear of the monkey returning. And so because of his childhood trauma, he's now severed this relationship with his child, and he's at the point that he's possibly going to lose connection with his child at all. I thought he was great in both roles, but really the highlight for me is his main character of Hal. I think his voice, his performance, his presence is so powerful in this movie, and I want to see him do a lot more. I love his delivery, and like I said, his voice is really effective. And that's really what the main core of The Monkey is. Yes, the creative and wacky and funny kills, but at its core, it's a family movie that kind of deals with death in this super interesting way. It kind of talks about the randomness, how death can come at any time and it never can really make sense. And yes, they're using it in the context of a wind-up monkey that you spin the back of the key and eventually he'll kill a random person. But if you take it out of this kind of silly context of a horror film, it's very true. It's a very true thematic element that a lot of people deal with. Sometimes you lose someone that you really love or you're really connected with for no apparent reason, and you're kind of just mad at the world for the inherent randomness. Another thing I really appreciate about The Monkey is it does not overstay its welcome. With so many movies going 2 hours plus, I'm completely fine with long movies. One of my favorite movies of last year was The Brutalist. Long movies are not the problem. The problem is movies that overstay their welcome and are pushing past the 2 hours that don't need it. And so with The Monkey, it's a brisk 100-minute film. It's in and it's out. You're in for a batshit crazy ride with lots of laughs, great performances, and a real family theme that's really interesting and an interesting exploration of death. And then it ends there, and it's super effective, and it sticks with you from the kills, the comedy, the family moments. Those are all reasons to go see The Monkey. I give The Monkey 3 out of 4 stars, and it's immediately shot up to one of my favorites of the year.